What is electronic home monitoring in Seattle or anywhere in Washington state? Well, if you have to do electronic home monitoring, you're just interested in what it is, this is the video for you. My name is Lance Fryrear, and I'm the owner of the law offices of Lance Fryrear. We've been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 20 years. And what we've noticed as time has passed, and especially during these COVID times, that electronic home monitoring is becoming more common as a punishment in lieu of jail time. And while that sounds really good, there's a lot of questions that our clients have, and you might have those questions too. And so, if so, I'm going to cover three things in this video. Number one, what is electronic home monitoring? What does that mean, and how basically does it work? I can't cover exactly how it works because each program that offers electronic home monitoring has specific rules you need to follow. So what I say isn't gospel, but I'm going to cover the basics because this video is educational. Two, what are some situations where you might be able to get electronic home monitoring in lieu of jail time as a penalty? And number three, what are some pitfalls that we have to watch out for if you are going to serve electronic home monitoring or you're trying to be able to serve electronic home monitoring? So again, this is an educational video. So if you find this useful, please like our video and please subscribe to the channel. It helps me get out more information to the public. And that's the whole purpose of this video to begin with. So I'm going to jump right into it. What is electronic home monitoring? Well, it's a punishment used in lieu of jail time, which means instead of jail, where basically you wear typically a bracelet on your ankle. You have a device that is installed in your home, and then you're required to stay at home as punishment instead of going to jail. Think about it that way, and it's something you have to pay for, okay? It's not free, so it usually costs so many dollars a day. Maybe the low end might be $12. The high end might be double that. Each jurisdiction is different. And you don't actually have to stay the entire 24 hours, usually a day at home. The good news is you're allowed to go to work during electronic home monitoring. You're allowed to go to school, typically for electronic home monitoring. You're allowed to go to treatment. So basically, you get to go out and do certain life functions. And then when you're not doing those life functions, instead of being at jail, you're at home. Okay, so that's pretty good. It's way better than jail time. And, maybe you'll get caught up on your Netflix. So that's basically what electronic home monitoring is. It's a way that you're monitored and you get to stay at home instead of jail. And then at certain identifiable times, you're allowed to go out, and it has to be pre-approved and, pre-programmed. You just can't go out when you want, and do certain life activities like work, school, treatment, etc. You usually get to go to the grocery store maybe once a week also. So number two, what are some situations where electronic home monitoring can be ordered instead of jail time? Well, the one that most people hear about is for DUIs. For DUIs, the law keeps sort of leaning towards electronic home monitoring in lieu of some of the mandatory jail time. For example, if you have a one-day mandatory jail sentence, you can ask for 15 days home detention instead. 2-day mandatory jail, you can ask for 30 days. And so for DUIs, sometimes it's a 15-to-1 conversion. That's a whole other video subject, but DUIs are one situation. Other situations where you might be able to get electronic home monitoring is city cases, like a city prosecutor versus a state prosecutor. They have different budgets, jail budgets, because when they put someone in jail, they've got to pay to put that person in jail. And during these hard times, and also during these COVID times, I'm filming this March 2021, we don't want a bunch of people in jail. And so city prosecutors, city of Lynnwood, city of Edmonds, city of Seattle, they're more likely to use the term, how about electronic home monitoring, than a lot of state prosecutors. County cases are less likely to offer it. And then also gross misdemeanors and misdemeanors are more likely to have electronic home monitoring than felonies. In felonies, it is possible to get electronic home monitoring, but it's difficult. And usually you would think about nothing more than 30 days usually. So those are some situations where we see electronic home monitoring in lieu of jail time. Again, ask your attorney, ask your private attorney, ask your public defender if there's some type of punishment, if you have a conviction. See if you can get EHM, electronic home monitoring instead, because it's way better. So number 3, what are some pitfalls that we see for EHM? Well, the most common one, believe it or not, is just never getting it set up. Guess what? Everybody wants EHM instead of jail time. Who wouldn't, right? And so what can happen then is the system gets overwhelmed. So if you get sentenced to EHM, immediately start to find out what you need to do, because it's a mess out there. It's constantly changing. Some courts let you use private companies. Some courts make you use their own program. And guess what? Their own program is overwhelmed, usually run by the jail or run by the police. They do their best, but we get horror stories all the time with our clients calling us saying, no one will call us back. We don't know what to do because it won't call us back. And then what we do, because we try to be a full service firm, is we start to get involved. And that's not common. So don't expect your public defender to do that. Don't expect a lot of private attorneys to do that. But you need to jump on it immediately. That is the most important thing. The second pitfall is not, following the rules, right? Your work schedule changes and you're not sure what to do about that. So you just go to work and now you have a violation. And if you get a violation, if you haven't followed the rules, you could get your electronic home monitoring yanked and now you're in jail. Now you lose your job and all this is for naught. So you got to ask questions. And as you may know, in the criminal system, almost no one there is going to put out a lot of effort to help you, right? So rely on your attorney, rely on your diligence, pay attention to what the rules are. And then the final thing we see, unfortunately, is just a monetary issue where people don't budget properly because it costs money to do AHM, right? And so if you have different agencies that are allowed to do it, shop around, see which one gives you the best rate, see which one needs the bigger upfront money, that type of thing. So it does vary. And so if you are allowed to use a private agency, if we're working with you, we'll tell you which ones we recommend and which ones we've seen problems with. So I hope you found this video useful. If so, please please subscribe, because more people will get this information that they need. And if you find yourself charged with a crime, if you're really worried about going to jail, our firm may be able to help you. We've been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years. We'll do everything we can to help you, and we'll be there for you. Thank you.